we want to go out down to Florida, down to South Florida, and talk to our good friend. You know who he is. It's Ken Holland, the president and general manager of the Edmonton Oilers, who are sitting on the precipice of history tonight, down 3-0. They've tied it up, and the Stanley Cup will be in the building and actually out of the case tonight. One of these two teams will take it, the Florida Panthers or the Edmonton Oilers. Ken Holland joins us. Kenny, thank you so much, and we told you we were going to call you in the final. We told you we were going to get you there, man.
So, yeah, it sounds like you guys are good luck. I got to keep you on my speed dial.
You know it, Ken. We never will let you down. And congratulations, by the way. And Braylon will talk about this. But you, the latest inductee into the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations, man. You put in your time here in Detroit. I know your heart's here in Detroit as well. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a tremendous honor. I got a call last week, and those are the greatest of years. I'm so fortunate to have worked with so many talented people on the ice and off the ice. And I'm looking forward. I think it's October the 17th, and I'm very humbled and honored to be in the class of 24.
Extremely happy to go on with you, Ken Holland. We've had you on the show, definitely a friend of the show, and what you did for the Red Wings. And just, it feels good to go on somebody that I know. It's a tremendous class to be a part of, from the players all the way to Don Shane, posthumously, rest in peace. So I can't wait till October 12th to have that dinner and get joined with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you and like you said, have the dinner and kind of talk about things that you went through and just meet everybody there. It's an incredible class, and it's going to be a great night.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible class, but the time to talk about that will be later, as tonight it is about the Panthers and the Oilers. You guys tied it all up 3-3. Tremendous resolve the team has had. And you just talk about Game 6. Let's just start there. Connor McDavid has been amazing through this playoffs, 5 points away from surpassing Wayne Gretzky. Connor McDavid didn't have to do anything in Game 6, and they still were able to win to the tune of 5-1. Talk about how strong the Edmonton Oilers are playing right now.
Well, obviously you come home right off the bat. You've been watching on TV, incredible atmosphere in the building, tremendous energy from the fans, from our other fans, certainly the games 4 and 5. I think Connor got 4 points each night, and we kind of rode his back to the win column, and then it was their depth, obviously, that won us the game. Game 6, big goal by Adam Henrique, and I thought Leon Draisaitl in the first period was really dominant, really skating, made a great pass to Warren Fogle for the first goal. I think we held them to 2 shots on goal, so we're playing good team defense. They're feeling good about one another, hopefully we can ride that same energy and that same confidence to a win tonight.
Yeah, well, win or lose tonight, I think it's safe to say it's a pretty successful season. I know some people say Stanley Cup or bust, but when you see a team that you've had your hands in building come together and push it to a Game 7 and have a chance to bring the first Stanley Cup to Canada in a long, long time, how does it feel to go from like the idea of what the team could be to actually seeing it transition to reality on ice?
Well, I was really to work, obviously, in Detroit in the 90s or late 80s with Jim Devellano and then Neil Smith before he left for the Rangers, and Mr. and Mrs. Illich and Scotty Bowman, and kind of, the same thing. Obviously we had that core with Yzerman and, Stevie Y, and then, Fedorov joined and Lidstrom joined and Konstantinov, and the team was built. We had, some disappointments along the way, losing in the finals. Actually, it was just actually turned off TV a half hour ago, NHL Network, and they were showing the 1995 finals against Game 4 against New Jersey when they won the Cup. Brought back some disappointments. But I think that we 2 years ago the Oilers were in the Final Four. We lost to Colorado last year. Colorado went on to win the Stanley Cup. Last year we get to the second round, we play Vegas, and then they beat us and they go on to the Stanley Cup. So you certainly firsthand, our players had got to play against the Stanley Cup champions, in round 3 and in round 2. And the growth of some young players, Bouchard, Skinner in net, McLeod, obviously the core was here, but the core, being in all those playoff series and games here over the last few years, and then obviously we've made some additions, just kind of watched the team evolve and grow. You never know if it's going to grow into what it's going to grow into, but certainly we've gotten better and better and better. And I think the adversity we faced this year at the start of the year, when we were 2-9-1, everybody still believed that we were a good team. Everybody believed we were a playoff team, but we were in a massive hole, and run off an 8-game winning streak, and then a 16-game win streak. Is those kind of things. I think being down to Vancouver 3-2, winning Game 7 on the road, being down 2-1 to Dallas and have to rally, being down 3-0 here against Florida has just added to the belief. And certainly going into tonight, our guys feel good. It's one game at a time. It's another game. I think that's what we have to look at. Go through the routine, keep doing what we're doing, believing in one another, and at the end of the day, you hope that the result is going your way.
Ken Holland joins us, the president, general manager, of course, of the Edmonton Oilers, our good friend here in Detroit, bringing 4 cups here to the Red Wings in his time here. Kenny, I look at 2 guys besides Connor McDavid. I look at Stu Skinner, who he don't lose. He does not lose on when your backs are against the wall. I don't know what his record is, but it's been pretty damn good. And then Zach Hyman, the Wolverine that you brought in, and people were like, bringing in Zach Hyman? Well, what is he doing? He's ready to win the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what Zach has done. I think he scored 70 goals for us this year, 16 in the playoffs and 54 in the regular season. It's really, he came in. He plays with a lot of heart. A lot of you guys, you watched him with Michigan hockey. Plays with a lot of passion, a lot of heart. He goes to the hard areas. He's heavy on the puck, wins battles, goes to the blue paint. And coming here, he found chemistry with Connor McDavid, who's probably, the best passing centerman in the National Hockey League. And you got a winger that goes to the blue paint, and then became the net front presence on the power play. And as he started to have success, you could see his confidence grow here over the 3 years that he's been here. So certainly we wouldn't be here without Zach Hyman. And goaltending.
Yep.
Come playoff time, you got to have it. And Stu Skinner was the draft pick of the previous regime. Peter Chiarelli and his people. He was a 3rd-round pick. He was in Bakersfield in the American League. My first year, actually, it's funny. My first year here at Christmas time, he was struggling so much in the American Hockey League. We sent him to the East Coast League for 2 or 3 weeks to play 3-4 games to kind of find his confidence. But a credit to Stewie, stuck with it, but believed in himself. Great job by the goalie coach down in the American Hockey League. And the coaching staff, and he's got up here, and he has some good. He developed a real good chemistry with Mike Smith, the goalie who was in his late 30s, as a role model and as a mentor, and he's been he's a big reason why we're going to Game 7 tonight. And halfway through in the Vancouver series, I think Game 4, he was struggling a little bit.
Yep. Down 3-1.
Knobloch took him out.
Yeah,
took him out. Put in Pickard. He got a couple of days off to kind of reboot, and he's been excellent ever since.
Man, it's unbelievable. And on the other side, Florida, Sergei Bobrovsky, he's got the shakes right now. And he had a day off yesterday, which is a rare thing. You might see a new goaltender in net tonight for Florida.
Well, I mean, I think both teams are going to have their best game tonight. I mean, everybody knows it's winner take all. It's what a massive difference tonight when the game's over between winning the game and losing the game. They know what's at stake. They've got a veteran hockey club. We are too. I'm expecting a tremendous game. I think back to 2009 when we were in Detroit, Pittsburgh, Game 7. It was 2-1. I kind of expect a low-scoring game. Everybody's going to be a little cautious and safe with the puck. Nobody's going to be taking too many chances. And when you get your opportunities, you got to try to bury it. So it's going to be close. It's going to be tight, and you got to find a way to squeak out a road win.
Ken, 2 questions from me, and then I'm done. The Cup hasn't been north in 31 years, and also the Cup hasn't been in Edmonton in 34. What would this mean to the city of Edmonton to finally restore Lord Stanley? That's question 1. And then question 2, It's just more about Connor McDavid. You know, it hasn't been done in the modern era, coming back from 3-0, and I know there are other people on that team, but there is no mistake about who is the catalyst behind Edmonton Oilers' success. It's Connor McDavid. If they finish this out, which we want you to, good luck, by the way, where will that shoot Connor McDavid in terms of what stratosphere, coming back 3-0, and he's already the best player in the NHL?
Well, I think anytime you know your first question about anytime you can win a champion, it hasn't been done in 30 years. But I reflect back on my time in Detroit when we won in Detroit in 1997. It hadn't been done for 42 years. I think there was 250,000 people in the main center, and as we went down Woodward, there was 1 million people. I think hockey brings out a lot of passion. You know, if you love hockey, it's a passionate sport, and the fans are passionate. And obviously in Canada, you know, hockey's Canada's game. So anytime you can have success in a Canadian marketplace, there's a lot of passion that comes out. And we still got a lot of work to do. We still got to win. You know, we have to win. You know, we still got to win one big game tonight. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. And you know, I think as far as Connor, I've been fortunate to have been around the league a long time. He's the best player that I've ever seen since I came into the league in the. I was, assistant manager in 1994 in Detroit, and then in 97 I became manager. So I've been around for 30 years. He's obviously he's got great talent, hockey sense, and his speed, but it's also he's got all the intangibles. He's got the will and the determination and the sacrifice and the leadership. He drives himself. He practices hard. He's in the gym, on the ice. In last year, I think it was the middle of June, he started getting ready for the next season. Well, now we're just about on the verge of July, so I'm not sure how long he's going to take off. But getting ready for next year. But he's just an incredible athlete, a great leader. He's obviously when we've needed him, he rises to play his best at the most important times. And I look for him to have a great game for us tonight, and our team to play a great game, and that's what it's going to take for us to get out of here with a win tonight.
And we got Ken Holland joining us, Edmonton Oilers president and GM. Ken, sometimes when people are successful once, it can be considered luck. Then when you double down and you're successful again in your career, it kind of cements like, okay, that wasn't luck. Because sometimes when we're talking about Ken Holland here in Detroit, you hear that you've gotten blessed with a lot of players, a lot like Phil Jackson. Like if you won with Jordan, it was luck, but then he won again with Kobe, and now all of a sudden there's a common denominator. You seem to be that common denominator now that you've gotten to a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. How do you find yourself in these positions that others consider lucky, but it's just part of your career trajectory?
Well, first off, you got to be lucky. I mean, this is a hard business, pro sports, so you got to be lucky. I would say, I joined the Red Wings in 85 as a scout when we picked Joe Murphy, 85, 86 with the first pick in the draft. We had the worst record in the National Hockey League. And I got to work with Jim Devellano, who was my mentor. And then, in the early 90s, Scotty Bowman came in. So that was like going to Harvard for me, to be able to work on an everyday basis with Jim Devellano and Scotty Bowman, the winningest coach in history, and Jimmy D, who was the chief scout and one of the architects of the Islanders dynasty. So I learned a lot about team building from those two people. I'd scouted for 12 years before I became a general manager. 4 years as a Western scout, 5 years as the chief scout, and 3 years, as the assistant general manager. So, I got to be out in the field a lot and watch a lot of players. And then obviously you got to have good players. I mean, that's what the sport's about, and you got to find them. And then I think about the contributions of Jimmy Nill, who was my right-hand man. We played junior hockey together in Medicine Hat. He was my assistant manager. And it was kind of we ran shotgun together. Håkan Andersson, the European scout that's still there, the finding Zetterbergs and Datsyuks in the late rounds. You gotta have good people. But I also think, when Håkan comes and he taps you on the shoulder, whether it's Jim Nill or myself in the 6th round, and says, "I got a guy I really like out there. He's a little Russian guy," and we listen to him, and it's Pavel Datsyuk. And actually, by fluke, I had breakfast yesterday for 2 hours with Pavel Datsyuk. So what a wonderful day yesterday was for me to see Pavel. I hadn't seen probably 8 or 9 years. So you need lots of good people, obviously, on the ice and off the ice. Have I been lucky? Absolutely, really lucky. But if you're not lucky, it's a tough business. So I've been really, really fortunate to great owners, great people on and off the ice, and I'm very, very blessed.
That's a great response. And got a big debate that we had earlier in the show here, Ken. Would you rather the game have been played on Sunday or a Monday night? Because everybody in this room thinks Sunday would have been the way to go for the NHL. Or does it not matter?
Well, I think because, we came out here both teams came out. We played, I'm losing track of days. We played Friday night, and then both teams stayed overnight, 6 hours. But by the time we got here, it was 6-7 hours. By the time you got to drive from down to your place to the Edmonton airport, it's about almost 5.5 hours in the air, and then you got to clear customs, and then you got to drive probably to get the best game tonight. Both teams yesterday had the day off or, a practice day, and I think it was probably appropriate to have 2 days off as you change location from, just because they're so far apart. So both teams are fresh, rested. They're as rested as you can be, given that we both put in 2 months of playoff hockey, and has the makings again of an incredible night for hockey.
Say that like that. 2 months of playoff hockey.
Isn't that something?
That is intense.
Isn't that something? They started in October, and here it is, almost July.
Yeah.
And they're rolling. Hey, Ken, first goal has won the last 3 games. How important is it to get that first goal? It's been Edmonton's.
Well, I do think the first goal is important. I don't think it's I don't think it's 100%, but obviously everybody plays odds, but I do think the first goal is probably important. I think that with us being on the road, probably when you're the road team and the other team scores first, you can just play. But I do think that obviously there is going to be some significance in the first goal, but more so let's see what the score is after one period. But the thing could go to overtime for all we know.
That's right.
That's the beauty of sports. You just don't know. I think the first goal is, it's always important over a long haul, but over one game, I don't know that it's a big difference in one game, but certainly over a long haul, you score first. You like your odds, but Game 7 on the road, for us on the road, I think we just same routine. We got to play. We got to keep doing what we're doing, and then at the end of the night, believe that everything that we're doing is going to end up with the right result.
Here's a good stat for you, Ken. The first part, not good, but the second part, very good. Home teams are 12-5 in Game 7. Here's part 2.
Mm-hmm.
The last 3 road teams have won at Game 7.
Well, obviously Tom, we were part of that in 2009, right?
Yep.
We had Game 7 at home against Pittsburgh, and we were up 3-2. And I remember going into Pittsburgh Game 6. We were actually up, I think, 2-1, and Jordan Stahl scored a shorthanded goal to kind of flip that game, and then bring it back. They ended up winning, and then we come back. We lost Game 7 2-1. So
barely.
Yeah, barely. So looking forward to. Anxious to get. I'm looking forward to the puck drop. It's a long afternoon here. We're waiting for the puck to drop, and I'm looking forward to getting to the rink, getting in the press box there tonight, and having the puck drop, and let's get the game going.
Hey, what happens at the end of this game, Kenny, for you? Because we know the deal. It's up to you, I guess, and the Oilers, where you go from here. As far as you, are you staying in Edmonton? Are you looking elsewhere? What's Ken Holland thinking about either way after tonight?
You know what? I've done a really good job, being around this team and understanding the passion of this team. It's one game at a time, and then obviously tomorrow it's about the future. But for the last year, I guess, and then as we've gone along here, it's about trying to be the best that we can be. And so I'm not really worried about the future. That'll take care of itself. Just want to kind of focus in on tonight, and then starting tomorrow, I'll worry about the future.
Good luck, Ken. We're rooting for you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you,
Brandon, look forward to seeing you in October.
We'll be there.
I can't wait. Congratulations
Okay.
again. Well deserved.
Thanks, Kenny. Good luck, man.
Thanks. Bye. You too. Congratulations to you too. Bye.
Thank you.